All right, Instagram, can you hear me? That was my bad on StreamYard, everybody. I'm sorry. I didn't hit unmute on my mic. Rookie error there. And is very symptomatic of what's happening. Lisa Beck, thank you very much. You guys can hear me on Instagram. Symptomatic of what's happening in my microcosm. So Instagram, apologize. Let me catch up my Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn audience today. I was inviting you to take a look at your microcosm, looking at what your personal life is looking like right now. Mine is definitely chaotic. When we have the level of astrological movement that we're currently experiencing, and what I mean by that is our solar system is aligning to galactic center. Because of this alignment, we here on the planet are being bombarded with photons of light that carry information about the upgrade of consciousness that we're experiencing right now. Consciousness is your awareness of your relationship to everything going on around you. So while we have this galactic big time movement right now, we are going to see similarly big time movement in our microcosm. And a lot of times that looks messy. I'm just going to be honest with you. When we have big galactic cosmic energy flowing in like we do right now, it will disrupt patterns in your life, especially those patterns which are no longer serving you. And we have this beautiful opportunity to come together and take a look at the patterns that are no longer serving us. I'll tell you what it looks like for me, because like I said, I'm in it with you. My oldest son had an accident probably about a month ago now. He almost lost his foot. Thank goodness he did not lose his foot, but the damage done, gruesome, y'all. If you're in the hospital for a month and multiple surgeries, this is a serious injury, and it's caused a rearrangement in our family to show up into caretake, which, by the way, shout out to the caretakers out there on the planet. This is a challenging role to step into. And one of my biggest lessons in stepping into this role, slowing down, prioritizing. Y'all, my hair looked really bad today because I did not prioritize buying more conditioner. I did finally, after the past month of being in the hospital, prioritize my laundry this morning at 5 a.m. Thank you very much. But priorities shift and life becomes, I'm going to say, it becomes simple. It's very complicated I feel like I'm living two lives. Like I feel like as I'm showing up to my life outside of the hospital, it's simple. We are serving clients, our client roster inside the academy. We're preparing for an awesome retreat. Talk about this galactic energy. Every year we go on an expedition into Mount Shasta, which is the root chakra vortex of the planet, with Bill Holman and the Mitchell Hedges crystal skull, just a ridiculously powerful artifact that helps expand our consciousness and our growth. So at the academy, we are right now just focusing on the projects in front of us. You might have noticed I'm not making a lot of new content right now, so I'm looking forward to a good, powerful day here with y'all in the records. Let's call some good activations in so we have some shares that we can share out there with the rest of the planet. And then inside the hospital, which, gosh, you guys, I walk in and it feels like I'm in a casino. Time warps. My mind also gets really dumbed down. I find that just sitting present next to Jack and rubbing his hands and just being there in that moment, not really thinking a whole lot of thoughts, is how my body feels like showing up right now. If I am staying in a state of allowance and just allowing whatever is happening in the moment, I feel this peace and like I don't have to do a whole lot. When I do have thoughts, they are thoughts of healing, and I am having some creative thoughts and some visionary thoughts about what's coming in the academy, but not a lot of thought happening, which is a beautiful thing. How many of you feel like you've got runaway thoughts? A lot. One of the biggest lessons for me from my guides is to not get caught up in those runaway thoughts and just stay very, very present. So while there is chaos, there is upset in the old proverbial fruit basket. I am learning tremendous lessons that are helping me hold a new frequency of calm, of peace, of positivity in my life. And what a great lesson, right? I want you to think about how those lessons of being more calm, being more positive in your life can help you. Let me share how important this is, and then you can learn these lessons without having quite so much chaos to wake you up and to bring you present. All right, if this is the first time you are joining, let me introduce myself. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. My area of expertise and love and passion is in the Akashic Records, because the records hold every detail of our past, our present, all possible futures. And sometimes when we think of possible future, we think of the big dreams that we have and the visions we have. And I'm with you. I'm a big dreamer and I'm a big visionary. But how the records are helping me right now change my future is, as I'm embodying this deeper state of calm, my ability to advocate for Jack in a way that does not piss off the nurses that are taking good care of him is up leveling. When we started this process a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I was a mama bear who was scared, and my nervous system was very triggered. I was very reactive. And let me tell you something, the heads were going to roll and it didn't serve me. I haven't shared this part yet, but some of you do know. Security escorted me out of the hospital. And I'm doing a good job of owning my full behavior. This was about a couple weeks ago now. And I'm not going to go into the laundry list of things that I was lighting up the staff about. I'm not going to go into how justified they were. If you are sick and you have a loved one in the hospital, or you are a sick person in the hospital or needing medical care, it's really important to have an advocate, especially based on how our Western medical system, I can only speak for here in the United States, how it works. And I'm so thankful for it. I am thankful that my son's pain is controlled. I am thankful that he has been put back together. But over the past 2-3 weeks, I have had to do more grounding, more meditation, more visualization of how I want to be and how I want to show up as his advocate, rather than being in this reactionary state. And the records help me zero in on this. I get pings and notifications in my mind, which basically means I'll think about, oh man, I'll check in. My nervous system feels really off. I need to go ground right now. And I now have the awareness of, I need this level of grounding to go into communication with people in my life. I want you to think about if you have a contentious relationship with a partner, a romantic partner, or a coworker. Don't expect that you can just flip the switch and show up differently without doing the work. Are you doing the work, and are you doing enough of it? In this time in my life, I've needed to up the amount of meditation, grounding, healthy food. Okay. All right. So enough about me. Enough about the Akashic Records. Did I give you, most of you look familiar to me in here. If you are a newbie and this is the first time, let me know in the comments that you are a first timer. And let's get rolling, because this show really is all about you and what your microcosm, what your challenges look like, and how that allows us all to call forward solutions. When you share the areas and you ask the questions about what's challenging in your life, we all get to share the intelligence of the Akash together. And that's how it works. The Akashic Records work by sharing whatever information you're ready to receive. How do they know what information you're ready to receive? You ask questions. So I'm going to invite you to light up my chat box with your questions. You can ask personal questions about, okay, I just got some information. Okay, here's how the guides would like you to phrase the questions today. What is the best way for me to blank, XYZ, fill in the blank? Or if you want to ask a question about the greater good of humanity, what is the best way for humans to blank, XYZ, fill it in? That's how the guides are advising us to phrase the questions today so that we can receive that intelligence flowing back from the records. All right, we've got a couple first timers here. This is fantastic. Roswitha is a first timer. Falcon is a first timer. A newbie here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Amy, thank you for this question. What is the best way for me to move forward on my path? Amy, thank you so much. Direction is something that can be challenging, especially during these big cosmic gateways, all this cosmic activity, because what happens is if we are not in alignment with the direction of our mission and our purpose here on the planet, we start getting invited into shifts. I guess this is my invite into shifts energy, my little invite into shift stance. See, I was going along smooth in one direction and then I shifted. That's what my body was acting out for you. If you guys don't know, I was an actress for 20 years. So sometimes it feels better and natural to act it out for you. Not that you're not getting it. If you are experiencing an invitation into a shift in your life, a timeline shift or a crossroads, give me an emoji. You can put a hand up emoji or just say me in the comments. I want to hold space for each one of you because the clarity you have, the vision that you have, and the decisions that you make to move yourself in alignment with that vision, it's so important here on the planet right now. Because the more of us that can identify the shifts we need to make and then have the courage to make those shifts, it's like the whole collective gets a boost of consciousness as we do that. What becomes possible for humanity as each one of us show up to our life differently changes. So you have a powerful role to play for the advancement of all of humanity just by what you're doing in your microcosm or in your personal life. All right, so I'm going to tap into Amy's guides here and get some specific information for you, Amy, about the best way for you to move forward. Before I do start channeling in, the guides want to know if this resonates with you and your name not Amy, Foreigner, this message is for you too. We want to thank Amy for calling this forward in the collective for all of us today. So I want you to receive that. Anything that resonates with you, receive that as a message personally from your guides in the Akashic Records. Okay. First thing, Amy, is the guides are saying, own your truth. Own what it is that you want to do. Get really clear with what your desires are. And don't undershoot yourself. What is it? I guess is it undershooting? I feel like I made that word up, which I love to do, by the way. Don't undershoot yourself, meaning don't settle, or let me say this a different way. It's not about not settling. It's about not wanting enough for yourself. Not wanting enough for ourselves. Underestimate. Thanks, Mama. That's my mama in the house right there. Yep, Laura. Undermine, undervalue. Thank you. Thank you for playing along. But when we don't want enough for ourselves, this is symptomatic of self-hatred and lack of self-worth, which that energy makes it very, very difficult to make changes. Yeah, and the guides are really, I feel this settling in to this idea, Amy, of taking stock. The guides want you to evaluate your life and see where you are not wanting enough for yourself. And I'm with you. I've worked, talk a lot with my hands. I need to make sure my space is big enough. Didn't break any nails there. That's good. Okay. I'm with you. I've worked on the self-worth things. I've worked on the self-value. I've worked on the dreaming big. This is an area where my soul's been in alignment with dreaming big since I was a kid. So just sending that transmission through for any of you. What do I mean by that? I mean, I grew up in small town Missouri, about 3,000 people right on the Mississippi River. And I pulled the plug on that life and moved to Hollywood to become an actress when I was 19 years old. I quit college at Mizzou, packed up my car. I'm like, I'm out of here. And even though I had a lot of confidence in making the decision, I was still scared. My knuckles were white, y'all. I'm holding on to the steering wheel so tight the first time I'm driving down the 405. The town I'm from has 2 lanes of traffic, one going this way, one going this way. The 405 is about 5 or 6 lanes per side of the freeway. But I've always had this excitement and not a lot of fear around making big decisions and playing big. So if that's something that you've struggled with, I'm just going to send through a heart transmission, sending that energy from my heart to yours. Open up your heart. Type yes in the comments if you want to receive that transmission. Ooh, I feel a lot of you receiving it. It's fun. It's a fun energy. Okay. And I've also done this exercise that the guides are suggesting for Amy and any one of you who are resonating right now. And that is to evaluate your life and notice where you are not wanting enough for yourself. And then ask your guides, ask your records to help you see the ways that you can make shifts and changes so that you can embody that bigger vision. Here's a different perspective that I want to give you. And that is when you dream really big, so big that you get excited about your goals and dreams. That's another challenge, is that if we don't dream big enough and we just settle, we don't create that feeling of excitement. And that feeling of excitement is a vibrational feedback loop that is sent out into the universe, which informs the universe what to bring back to us. So if you don't tap into this level of excitement, you're not going to be able to create these big dreams and visions that you have. So make sure that what you want for yourself creates this childlike giddiness inside of you. All right? I don't want you to go for the little heart-shaped pillow inside. I call it a gobbler machine. You guys know those machines that go over and they drop down and they try to pick it up? I don't want you to go for what you think you can get. I want you to go for the big ass teddy bear in the corner that feels like that thing is surely going to fall out of that lightweight little claw. Okay? Good stuff. If you're receiving this, type yes. I'm leaning up here. I'm going to scroll back on Instagram. I saw a great question come in. Lisa Beck, what is the best way for me as an air sign root down my creations and ideas specifically with my business? Woo! Let me hear it for you air signs out there. By the way, thank you, Amy, for that. Yes, if you guys received some insight, some power, some oomph from Amy's question, give Amy a thank you. Send some love likes, hearts across the screen. All right, how many air signs we got out there? And you don't have to just be an air sign. I happen to be an air sign. You don't have to just be an air sign to have challenge grounding into the planet, anchoring into the planet. But we see this a lot in air signs. Yeah. We also see this a lot in seekers, metaphysical seekers who spend a lot of time meditating, connecting with nature, working those upper chakras, right? So the heart is the bridge. Our uppers are throat, third eye, crown. If we're talking the basic 7 here, okay? Throat is where we speak our truth. This is also a big manifesting center. Think about whether you believe in the Big Bang or whether you believe God spoke the universe into existence. It all comes from sound, right? Which, by the way, I'm using a ton of sound healing on Jack. Lots of vibrational energy is going into his healing, in addition to so many of you out there praying for him daily, sending energy, doing your unique ways of energy healing and modalities. And I'm so grateful. We definitely experienced a timeline shift with Jack. We went from 2 to 3 year recovery to months, 6 max before this kid is walking on it again. All right, back to this ungroundedness. Going off on tangents might be signs. But I can come back into the present moment of right where we left off pretty easily. It's all that grounding that I do, shoes and socks off, standing on the planet, making a strong connection to Mother Earth, right? So we've got manifesting, we've got vision, psychic senses. Those of you who spend time in your intuitive senses, you're activating these higher chakras. And then we've got the crown, which is where we process our relationship to God. I love everything about metaphysics and quantum energy and spirituality. And I spend all day, not all day, because lately I've been in the hospital and I already told y'all I've been checking out while I'm in the hospital. But most of the days I can immerse in anything metaphysical without getting sick of it. I can play with my pendulum. I can do a little card reading. I can go out in nature. I can meditate. I can watch Gaia. It doesn't ever get boring to me. So I'm an example of somebody who's spending a lot of time in these upper chakras. If that's where we're spending our time, you might not be spending as much time in the lower chakras. Okay, so we've got heart, like I said, is the bridge. As we go down, we've got solar plexus. This is our personal power, how we're showing up and what we're doing in the world. Trust me, if y'all like me, you can meditate all day long. Sometimes it's hard to convince yourself that you got to go to the grocery store or Target to get more conditioner, wherever it is you have to go. We've got sacral, which is our creative center, our sexuality. This is also where we store unprocessed emotion. Even those of us who spend a lot of time in the upper chakras, you love metaphysics, you love the quantum field, we have experienced trauma here in this lifetime as well as previous lifetimes when we've incarnated as humans. And it can be so easy to not pay attention to that. That's maybe you've heard the term spiritual bypassing. You heard the term spiritual bypassing? It's when we're staying in these upper chakras so long and we're not dealing with the earthly stuff, the stuff that pertains to our well-being and what we're creating here, the legacy that we're creating here on the planet. And then you've got the root chakra at the base of the spine that is responsible for our safety and security on the planet, physical, financial, emotional. And a lot of us have aspects of trauma from how safe we feel. So it can be easy to stay in those higher registers and not tap in with what's happening down below. Here are the two things that the guides are sharing, Lisa, that would be a great thing for you and anybody else who is resonating with this conversation. If you want to stay more in your lower chakras, stay more grounded, and this will help you bring these ideas, these cool esoteric ideas and these downloads and new methodology, new medicine, or new ways of being. You might envision yourself showing up at the hospital, all nice and calm, ready to talk to the nurses, which I am now. But if we only see it in our head and we don't create the connection to change our behavior, then we're not really doing ourselves any good. So for those of you who feel like you got a lot going on in the higher registers, but you need to bring that magic down into your earthly everyday experience, standing shoes and socks off on the ground 5 minutes a day, making a connection with Mother Earth is really important. And then the other thing that the guides brought in based on Lisa's question, one was earthing. Oh, breath. Yes. The guides are making this connection in my field right now too. And that is our breath can stop being fluid very easily throughout the day, meaning we hold our breath or we go into non-fluid breath patterns. And the reason the breath is so important is breath is the substance that bridges the gap from our physical experience to the esoteric, to the higher frequencies of energy, to the invisible. Okay, breath is like that circuitry. So you want to drop in with your breath many times a day until you can begin to retrain yourself to take fluid breaths. I notice this too. A lot of times I'll hold tension. Like I'll tap in with myself, I'll check in, I'll be like, oh my gosh, girl, relax. And I breathe. So let's do an activation right now that helps us maintain more fluid breath, because we're recognizing that breath is the circuitry that connects the invisible to the physical, to the tangible. Okay. Let's take 7 nice deep breaths together. Take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale. Remembering that this breath is an activation. There's a transmission coming through for each of you individually who are participating as well. Deep breath in. Exhale. We're doing 7 breaths. Each of us receiving an individual transmission as we breathe together. Deep breath in. Unlocking coding with this breath. Coding to help you tap into your soul mission. Good job. All right, let's send some love, likes, hearts across the screen for Lisa. Love it. If you received some upgrade from that monologuing that the Akashic Records brought in. All right, we got one more here. The Lovely Life Medium. What is the best way for me to improve my psychic abilities and move forward in my business? All right. Woo, this is good. The first thing that the guys are saying is that to move forward in your business, you just want to make decisions to be clear about what your highest leveraged action is, or the most important thing to do that day, and then do it. But what many of you are doing, this is not just for the Lovely Life Medium. I can feel this is for many of you, because you got codes inside of y'all. You got medicine in there. You've got unique perspective. You know that you are here to make a big impact and to share on the planet in a way that is more visible. You're standing more in your unique genius. And what's holding you back is you think that you're not ready. You think that some aspect of you needs to be better or gooder than you already are. There are definite ways that we can exercise our psychic senses and bring them more online. But for you, the Lovely Life Medium, your guys just want you to use them, practice. Be willing to, and it's not that you're wrong, but be willing to not fully understand what's happening in the moment. And here's what they mean by that. So when I first started doing this work and I was working with my psychic senses, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, there are actually a whole bunch more than just 4, but just focus on working on those main 4 for right now, everybody. Okay. And I was in a conference that was led by Doreen Virtue. This was before she flip-flopped back and forth on her fence a little bit, on her own microcosmic fence. But this was when Doreen Virtue was standing in the full genius and intelligence that she brought into our planet around angels and turning on our own psychic skills. And she led us through a bit of a meditation where we had partnered up with someone else, and I did not feel psychic. I actually was a little slightly pissed and more scared that I'd found my way into this conference where I thought I was just going to be listening. I didn't know I had to participate. She made us all partner up with somebody we did not know in the audience. Uncomfortable enough right there. Although that's an upgrade for society and humanity that I want to invite you into. Look at people, guys. Smile at people. Say hello. Be more open and friendly. Let your guard down. They're actually connecting that back to Lisa, you too. That would be a great exercise for you as well. Just an exercise in letting the guard down. It's really important. I did lose my train of thought now. Brag about being all grounded, and I can remember exactly what the guys were talking about. I forgot. Hang on one second. Let me just go back into it there. Letting your guard down, opening up, being grounded. Oh, yes. So that was challenging enough, was to let my guard down at that point in time and make a new buddy in the audience. And then I had to give her a psychic reading. And the things that flashed through my mind, actually a black cartoon cat, which was really weird, came into my mind. And an airplane came into my mind. And I thought, well, that's craziness, but I'm just going to share it with her anyway. And this lady, she kind of gave me one. She was able to validate both of those very specific symbols, which was awesome. Now, the reading that she gave me, I couldn't connect the dots at that point in time. She talked to me about seeing a visual of a giant garden structure that looked sort of like the Eiffel Tower. She said, but it's not the Eiffel Tower. It's got a fleur-de-lis on top of it. And I'm thinking, sorry, guys, I don't have my earbuds are dead, and so I'm not able to control background noise. And there's a very happy child who's going to the pool. If you hear that screeching, she's excited. All right. So garden tower, Eiffel, it looks like the Eiffel Tower, but it's got a fleur-de-lis on top. I'm not making the connection. I'm like, I like French things. I speak French. I feel like I've had past lives in France. Okay, that must be me. And then she also saw lavender, like this giant lavender bush, she said. I'm like, I like lavender. Maybe I need more peace in my life. Okay, good job. Sounds like me. I wasn't able to give her the full validation in that moment because it didn't make sense. I wasn't sharp enough at connecting the dots yet. I wasn't sharp enough at understanding how my psychic senses were working yet. I had to keep using it, right? 6 months later, I'm doing some gardening. I'm out in my front yard. I'm sweaty. I'm hot. I turn around to walk back inside and I stop dead in my tracks because on one side of my door is the exact garden structure that she saw with the fleur-de-lis on top. And on the other side of my door was my giant overgrown lavender bush. And I thought, holy cow, this woman was seeing my front door and it didn't even register. So know that your journey can look like that in the beginning too. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or it's not working. Great next step is to just practice using those psychic senses. Now, if you want specific exercises to up-level your psychic senses, I want to invite you to check out the akashicacademy.com. That's our website. We have a free resource that is a really short training class that gives you super specific exercises for each different clair. You can do them in 15 seconds a day. Deb says, I can relate to that kind of happy scream. Thank you for showing patience and tolerance and not being annoyed with my sweet little neighbors. Also, a couple more invitations for you all. We do have a few spots left on our Mount Shasta Akashic Alchemy Immersion. This is a life-changing event. It is a rapid accelerator of your timeline, the timeline of your highest purpose and potential. So I do issue this invitation with a warning. The Mount Shasta Alchemy Immersion is for those of you who are ready to let nothing stand in your way of stepping into your highest levels of intelligence, genius, and expertise here on the planet. I say that because oh, Laura Lake, I love you. Thank you for putting that, our website link up there. Shasta don't mess around, not over Lionsgate and not with the kind of work and reflection that we're inviting. So anything that is still a part of your life that is not in alignment with your highest good will fall away. So just letting you know, that's a big one. All right. Uncle says Drew screams like that when he gets in the bathtub. I love you too, Uncle. Thanks for taking care of and hosting other parts of my family this week. All right. I love you all. I appreciate you being here with me, even though my hair didn't look so good today. All right. All right. Please come back next week. I will try to get conditioner between now and then. And also, thank you for the uplift that I receive being here. This doing the work helps me stay really grounded in my own practice and in the bigger vision. It's always easier to tap in and you lend my gift to help others than it is to use it showing up in my microcosm. But I'm doing it, y'all. I'm staying strong. I'm learning a lot and happy to share these transmissions with you as you up level on your journey too. I love you all. See you back here next week.